Hello, hello, hello. I am the greatest artist of all time. Oh, come on, man.
I don't have an intro yet, so in the meantime, here's an animation that I made 3 years ago. Yeah, it's an animatic. I'll make an animated intro eventually.
I am the GOAT of fumbling girls because there is no way that women have invited me to stay over at their hotel and I didn't catch the hint. Am I gay? Like penis. The first girl was a girl in middle school. You know, she moved in from Italy. You know, I studied in Switzerland. She moved in from Italy. She was an Italian girl. She was really cute. She had curly hair and glasses and like a little bit of freckles and a like pretty clean face with no pimples. A naturally beautiful girl, you know? And on top of that, she was also an artist. And not just also an artist, but also an artist that was into anime. And so we of course became friends real quick, you know, because back in the day, you got bullied for liking anime. So we were all desperate to find others that were just like us, you know, otakus. So when you do find an otaku, you gotta cling on like with dear life because you're never finding friends like that ever again. Eventually, you know, as we hang out and we become friends and I went to her birthday and she went to my birthday and like she was basically almost always at my place because I would always invite people over to my place back then and we would like play video games together. And with her though, we would draw. I developed feelings, you know, I liked this girl. There was a bunch of creepy I did, by the way, because I liked her so much. I had an insane crush on her. Bro, I would screenshot her profile pictures, but I wouldn't start liking it to her profile pictures because no, that's bad. She's a wholesome girl. I can't do that to her. She's an
Angel.
Yes, I really saved her as Angel. I really liked this girl, if that wasn't obvious enough. And I figured that I wasn't really chanceless because we did hang out a lot. And again, like I said, we were at each other's respective birthdays and she gifted me a really freaking nice handmade, like on A3 paper, which is like the pretty big one, freaking Kaneki Ken drawing in color and everything with the title card, Tokyo Ghoul and everything. And back then is when Tokyo Ghoul was extremely popular and I really liked Tokyo Ghoul. So tell me why I had the entire last year of middle school art class sitting next to her, and not just sitting next to her, but the way the seats were placed, right, the desks in the classroom, is they were little islands of 4 desks, and so 4 people would sit next to each other. And me and her sat on an island on our own because we were the anime kids. Everyone else doing art class was in art class for an easy perfect mark. Meanwhile, I and she, we both actually like drawing, and so we sat together. It was so nice, oh my god. And I never did anything! I never spoke to her that way because I was too shy. Never have I been more down bad for this girl. There's so much more disgusting, desperate simp behavior that I have demonstrated towards this female. But I will tell you about that in another video. The second girl was a girl I met at theater class in high school. Yes, I was a theater kid. My second high school, by the way, because I attended 3 different high schools. But I will tell you why I attended 3 different high schools in another video. That's a long story. This girl was super extroverted and quite good at acting, in my opinion, for like high school level. The dichotomy between her and me was crazy this time. Literally the opposite of me, you know, because I was extremely introverted. But when it did come to theater, I actually liked the whole projecting my voice thing and acting, so I didn't really have trouble with that, even though I would usually be introverted. Whenever it came to theater class, I appeared way more extroverted than I actually was outside of theater. And seeing as I only saw this girl in theater class, you can see how we matched. But then it wasn't really how I am all the time, so I had these weird feelings about that. We had interactions throughout the year because even though I wasn't one of the main characters, I still had quite a lot of lines of dialogue with her in the play we were doing, and we were doing Anne Frank. What a play, you know, usually people do Grease, Romeo and Juliet. No, we did Anne Frank. We did Anne Frank. And you know, I started liking her. She was a light skin, curly hair, glasses, and super smiley, bubbly girl.
Do you see a pattern here?
When we eventually performed the play, it was 5 shows over the course of 2 days because we had to do it for all of the students and because they didn't all fit in the theater, like the venue that we ended up performing the plays at, we had to do them multiple times in a row. So the first day it was 3 times and then twice the second day. And between shows, we had breaks where I would sing you know, because we had breaks and we would be hanging out there the whole day. And, you know, I like to sing. And so we would chat and then I would sing and I'd do like karaoke basically, right? Because there was the microphone. And I would sing together with this girl. And I was really thinking that it was going somewhere. You know, me and her, we were like singing, looking into each other's eyes. Oh, I felt so good, man. I really thought there was something there. I really thought there was something. We even went to a pizza place for dinner after the last day to celebrate. And I was sitting next to her the entire time, chatting her and the other people up. After this, I asked for her number and I got it! Hell yes! So how did this lead to a fumble? I am aware that I could have just added her from the theater group, by the way. But it's different when she texts you first to add her. It's different. Needless to say, after theater, I did come across her in school every once in a while, but it never went further than just saying hi. That's right, I got this girl's number. I worked up the courage to get her number, never texted her anything flirtatious, and at school, we just greeted each other.
Then I moved to Germany.
Wallahi, I'm finished. The bloodline ends with me! Crying yourselves to sleep with this one! The third girl deserves a name. I didn't give a name to the other girls, but this girl. This was my
Greatest fumble of all time.
the kind of fumble that makes you question your sexuality. And in fact,
It did.
this girl's name was Anna. That wasn't her real name, but we're just gonna call her Anna. Anna was a fine
Shit.
from Italy, you know, Florence, where I used to study in university. I studied abroad there. This girl was freaky. We were talking about, you know, we would be playing video games and then she'd be talking to me about like her Bob stories and she'd be like sending me pictures of her and then pictures of her after the gym every time and she'd be like, oh, you know, it's accountability. And then she'd send me pictures of like hot OF models and be like, yeah, you know, this is what I want to look like. Type shit, bro. Then, you know, we got real close and she eventually offered to come to my place to cook for me because, you know, back then I was eating slices of toast and salami and I was never cooking for myself. And so she decided, oh, that's so sad. Let me
Come over to your place and cook for you some real Italian food.
I don't think she was talking about the food. But yeah, anyway, she pulled up to hang out and it was just the two of us. You know, I lived away, like literally 2 minutes away from school. And so after school, we just walked to my place. And then she cooked for me. Yes, that's right. She cooked for me.
She cooked for me and baked for me.
We hung out in my room for hours. And I'm sure that she was waiting for me to do something. Because we were just in my room and she was like multiple times while we were like playing the game. She took a break from playing the game when it was my turn. And she would go on the bed and lay on the bed and look at me like... It hurts me to tell this story. But then, at some point, Anna said the line. At this point, anyone not as dense as an harem anime protagonist would have just taken the opportunity and gone right ahead. She said, hey, it's kind of late and I'm scared. Do you mind accompanying me to my hotel? We can watch a movie together. Denser than tongues! Denser than the sun! Denser than a star! Denser than a black hole! He's straight up gay!
You know what we did at her hotel? She jumped onto the bed, like, got up. You know what we did?
We watched the movie and I went home! But luckily, she didn't give up just yet. She thought, maybe I was coming on too strong. I'll try again. We'll keep being friends, you know, we'll keep like texting each other and then I'll just invite him over to my place. And so she did. She did invite me over to her place. And bro, we're gonna skip all the formalities because, you know, she baked for me, we chatted and did homework for school and yada yada yada. It's nighttime. We're playing Apex on the couch. Me on the side of the couch, left side with the armrest, right side her. She sat right next to me. Mind you, the couch was big, so she had the choice to sit further away, but she chose to sit right next to me. She was playing Apex, and then she died, and it was my turn. Bro, I swear to God, this girl didn't reposition to lay her head down on the other end of the couch. No. She just laid where she was and laid down. Her gyat all up on my lap, and she scooted back her Every time I need to tell this story, it gives me so much AIDS. Like, am I straight up gay? There's no way I missed the hint. Anyway, she laid where she was, okay? Fell over to the side, bam! Her gat up. And then she scooted back, moving her gat all up on my lap while I was playing. And bro, she said, oh, I'm kind of sleepy. Do you mind if I stay here? And I said, yeah, it's okay. I'll just keep playing.
And I just kept playing.
Why are you like this, Jacob? Next was the Italian cutie. This wasn't a fine shit. This was an Italian cutie. This was a blonde girl, and her name was Mary. That wasn't her real name, but we're just gonna call her Mary. Mary, this whole ordeal with the fine shit was going on. I was talking to Mary as well. So crazy, right? I'm a fucking player. On the surface, that's what it looked like, right? To the female classmates at my university. They thought, oh, this guy's a fuckboy. He been fucking these women.
But they don't know that I'm straight up gay, and I fumbled both of them.
Anyway, while this whole ordeal was happening, I was talking to this cutie, you know, and we were linking and we had a master class, right? And she lived really far away from Florence. She would have to take a 2-hour train. And so we went to an art school, hence the master class. And I offered her, you know what, you can stay the night at my place. Since, you know, you lived so far away, save yourself the extra train ride. You can just stay at my place. And then the next day we have school anyway. At 5 p.m., she said,
I'm kind of tired. Let's go to bed. Why is this always the go-to line? And why am I always confused?
like even now, if someone were to, like if a girl were to tell me this, I would still have a couple of seconds of confusion, like, bitch, it's 4 p.m. How are you tired? And then, you want to fuck? I understand it now. I understand it now. But I did not understand it then. My confused playing League of Legends was like, okay. I don't know, man. Don't even ask me how I managed to get a girl into my bed playing League of Legends, bro. What the flip? But don't worry, at least I don't play anymore. I quit my match, and bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, she had to do everything. We were in bed together, cuddling, and I was so awkwardly pretending to just fall asleep next to her. And like, I gave her the pillow and the blanket, and I was like sleeping like away from the blanket, like no blanket and no pillow, you know, just sleeping on my jacket. And bro, she had to come closer to me, and then she like asked for cuddles because I didn't get the hit, and I was just AFK, bro. I was fighting for my life to not angle my raging her way, and then she proceeded to
grab it.
what the fuck? And then we played Twister. Naked. And you're probably wondering, wait, this isn't a fumble. She carried, she 1v9'd it, and her lower back must be hurting from that. And something else. But how is that a fumble? You got the girl. Well, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I
Really like this girl.
the Italian fine shit, she was just bad, and I would have not minded, you know, doing the thing, but in the end, I didn't manage to do the thing. There was no shaboinking happening. But this girl, I actually liked, and I wanted to get with her, like get in a relationship, but I moved too fast. The next day, I was already holding hands, saying I love you, and like kissing her and shit, and she wasn't ready for a relationship yet, she said, and just wanted to be friends with me. Type shit. Okay, on one hand, I'm like, I thought she really was into me because she had to 1v9 the conversation and 1v9 the whole process. So you'd think that eases the blow of love bombing and like going too fast, right? But at the same time, I understand.
What the fuck was I thinking? What was I thinking?
But yeah, she just wanted to be friends with benefits. And then what was
I thinking, not realizing that may lead to eventually be
a relationship? Instead, I thought that just means, oh, well, then she just wants to be friends with benefits and then cheat on me. But
we're not together yet, so do you understand how that's not cheating?
And then, you know, I was too offended. I had to break it off. I was like, no, if you don't love me, then we can't be together. I don't want this carnal love, no emotions, like love without intimacy without commitment. Oh my God, can I speak? Dumbass! I don't want intimacy without commitment. If you're not ready for it, then I'm not ready for this either. At that time, I was so innocent, I didn't even fathom the concept of
Casual hookups.
I thought
Casual hookups.
just usually, you know, led to a relationship. Like you have it and then it becomes a relationship. And yeah, after that, we didn't talk anymore. And that was a fumble because if I was just a little more careful and slow, we might have actually been a thing. God damn it! Did you notice a trend here? Italian girls are a curse. I need to switch up my game because Ops got me downloaded. They've been reading me like a book. I keep fumbling. I will keep shooting airballs and bricks unless I practice my jumper. But right now I live in Germany and I work from home. So let's be honest, I don't ever see women outside of the ones in my BJJ class, but
Never date BJJ women.
online dating, it'll have to be. But as it stands, I fucking hate it. Who doesn't? Update, I already hated and deleted the apps. I tried to get into them. I just couldn't. I don't get matches. The ones I do are fucking fat Gorlockian the Destroyers. And apparently I'm ugly as fuck because dating apps are all about looks.
That means I must be cut! Probably chopped!
Meaning if I don't get matches off of my looks where I'm trying to present myself as most attractive as possible,
Wallahi, I'm finished!
thank you very much for watching. I know this was maybe a little bit painful, possibly a bit cringe, hopefully relatable. And if you did like it, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I will keep more bangers coming. These videos take so long to make. Please watch them all the way to the end. Thank you. Drive up my retention, please. Here's a drawing, speed paint. You want something on screen, right? To attract you, to keep you distracted so that you keep watching the video, right? You're not gonna keep watching the video if there's nothing on screen, you know? So I gotta make sure there's something on screen to keep you watching. Please, I wanna be a YouTuber so bad.
It's so bad! I know, man. It's so bad! I know.
Dude, I could puke. How did you fumble?
I know.
This is the last one, dude.
No, there's
No, there's more. No, yeah, no. It's so bad. Get nothing more. I would have killed myself.